Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the British-built Noble M600, a terrifyingly fast, pure analog beast that somehow emerged right in the middle of an era dominated by digital supercars. You know, when you look back at the automotive landscape of the 2010s, the whole industry was rapidly moving toward heavy electronic intervention, hybrid powertrains, and all sorts of automated driving aids. But out of Leicestershire, England, came a machine that completely rejected that entire philosophy. The Noble M600 wasn't built to coddle you. It was engineered to deliver an unfiltered, raw connection to the road. So today, we're going to explore the history, the staggering engineering, and the uncompromising design that makes the M600 an absolute modern legend.
Now, to really grasp what a shockwave this car sent through the industry, we have to look at how the automotive world reacted when it dropped in 2010. Top Gear, a massive heavyweight in automotive journalism, test drove the vehicle and concluded simply, it is fiercely rapid, genuine hypercar territory. They noted that it literally takes no prisoners. This wasn't just another quick sports car, right? This was a machine that instantly demanded respect and put established industry giants on serious notice. But to truly appreciate how a low-volume British manufacturer pulled this off, we need to take a look under that carbon fiber skin.
Section 1. Heart of the Beast.
Okay, the origin story of this engine is absolutely wild. You'd probably expect a bespoke, screaming Italian V12 in a car of this caliber, wouldn't you? Instead, Noble started with a 4.4-liter V8 engine originally designed by Yamaha and famously used by Volvo in their XC90 family SUV and S80 sedan. Seriously, a grocery-getter engine. But Noble didn't just drop an SUV engine into a supercar and call it a day. These crate engines were shipped over to Motorcraft in the US, where they underwent a radical transformation. By bolting on twin Garrett iResearch turbochargers, variable boost, and an electronic fuel injection system from Motec, they turned this humble foundation into a 650 brake horsepower monster with a screaming redline of 7,000 RPM.
Now, Noble fully recognized that 650 horsepower in a super lightweight car with zero electronic safety nets is frankly terrifying. So they installed this brilliant little switch in the dashboard, kind of like Ferrari's Manettino dial, that lets you manually dictate the engine's output and turbo boost pressure. In road mode, it limits the car to a relatively sane 450 horsepower. Step it up to track mode, and you get 550 horsepower. And then for those brave enough, race mode unleashes the full 650 horsepower at maximum boost. It puts the responsibility and the thrill entirely in your hands.
Section 2. Staggering speed and performance.
1,250 kilograms. That's just about 2,756 pounds. That is the staggeringly light curb weight of the standard M600. To put that into perspective for you, this featherweight construction gives the Noble a power-to-weight ratio of over 530 brake horsepower per ton. It's this exact ratio that elevates the M600 from being just a fast sports car into a literal rocket ship, fully capable of challenging the greatest hypercars of its generation. But getting the weight this low required immense discipline and a flat-out rejection of modern automotive trends.
So how did they make it so light? Well, Noble used a carbon fiber body draped over a steel tube and aluminum chassis. But the real weight savings, and honestly the core philosophy of the whole car, came from what they deliberately left out. There's no heavy, complex all-wheel drive system here. Power goes strictly to the rear wheels through a 6-speed manual transaxle. There's no stability control to catch you if you mess up. Astonishingly, there isn't even an anti-lock braking system. Noble actually partnered with braking specialist Alcon to design a system with limited servo assistance, arguing that ABS would just rob the brakes of their pure tactile feel. It is the absolute definition of analog design.
Because you don't have those electronic safety nets, the M600 takes absolutely no prisoners. The sole electronic aid providing any sort of backup is a limited traction control system, and that's basically just there to prevent massive oversteer. And in a brilliant, quirky detail that perfectly captures the danger and the sheer theater of this machine, the button to disable that traction control is hidden under a genuine flip-up missile switch cover taken directly from a Tornado fighter jet. How cool is that? It's a stark visual reminder. If you flip this switch, you are entirely on your own.
Let's see how all these analog mechanics translate to the real world. When you finally master the heavy clutch, that 6-speed manual, and the immense power, the numbers are just deeply impressive. From a standstill, the M600 will catapult you to 60 miles per hour in just 3.0 seconds flat. Keep your foot pinned, and 120 miles per hour arrives in 8.9 seconds. And it just doesn't stop pulling. It will hit 200 miles per hour in only 29.8 seconds. While Noble estimated a theoretical top speed of 225, it's been independently proven to reach at least 215 miles per hour before simply running out of runway. But you know what? Outright top speed isn't even the most impressive metric here. When Autocar reviewed the M600, they found a statistic that truly defies logic for a turbocharged car. When you're cruising at 40 miles per hour in fourth gear, a situation where most turbos would suffer from massive lag waiting to spool up, the M600 takes just 2.2 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. That is actually faster than the legendary McLaren F1, which takes 2.3 seconds despite having a naturally aspirated V12 that doesn't even need to build boost. It completely proves that Noble managed to eradicate that off-boost lethargy we usually see with heavily charged engines.
Section 3. Evolution and Noble variants.
Now contrast all that blistering, face-melting hypercar performance with the car's incredibly modest manufacturing origins. Every single M600 was meticulously hand-built in Leicestershire, England by a dedicated team of just 20 workers. The interior totally reflects this bespoke craftsmanship. It's incredibly driver-focused, tossing out all those complex modern infotainment systems and heavy climate control units. Instead, you get twin-hide upholstery, wool carpeting, and a highly adjustable steering column and seat. They even offset the pedals slightly to the left and adjusted them to the specific owner's preference to ensure the absolute perfect driving position. It's basically a custom-tailored suit of a car.
Over its production run from 2010 to 2018, Noble evolved the M600 lineup to cater to different tastes within the purist community. The standard M600, starting at around 200,000 pounds, offered painted carbon fiber body panels. Stepping up to 250,000 pounds, buyers could select the Carbon Sport, which was a track-focused variant that proudly showed off its exposed carbon fiber weave to really emphasize that lightweight construction. Finally, hitting the 300,000-pound mark, Noble introduced the Speedster. This model featured a removable Targa roof panel for open-air thrills, and they even developed it with an optional semi-automatic sequential gearbox, giving you a slightly different flavor of that M600 experience.
Section 4. A true purist's legacy.
Look, the automotive industry is dominated by massive corporations with bottomless R&D budgets. And yet, Noble proved that a tiny team focused entirely on driving purity could compete with the absolute best in the world. The concrete proof of this came on the famous Top Gear test track. Piloted by their racing driver, the Stig, the manual rear-wheel drive M600 set a blistering lap time of 1 minute and 17.7 seconds. That time completely decimated some of the most famous and technologically advanced hypercars in history, officially lapping faster than both the Pagani Zonda F Roadster and the mighty Bugatti Veyron.
The Noble M600 really stands as a monument to a very specific philosophy of automotive engineering. It was built for the driver who actually wants to feel the mechanical grip of the tires, master a heavy clutch, and manage 650 turbocharged horsepower without a computer stepping in to save the day. It asks a demanding question of whoever sits behind the wheel. And as we look at today's landscape of electrified, heavily automated, and digitally assisted vehicles, it leaves us with one final thought to ponder. In a world that prioritizes digital perfection, will we ever see a pure, uncompromising analog machine like the M600 ever again?